Buổi chia sẻ ngày hôm nay của CIDO sẽ có đôi chút sự khác biệt với những lần trước, với sự tham gia của vị khách mời ngoại quốc. Vì thế chúng mình xin phép được chuyển sang cuộc trò chuyện bằng tiếng Anh. Nhưng mọi người đừng lo vì sẽ có phần dịch tiếng Việt ở bên dưới. Và bây giờ thì mình bắt đầu thôi nào. Hello everyone, you are listening to CIDO's radio station, along with our 7 online challenge, Trong Nhà Ngoài Ngõ, which has been introduced on our fan page. CIDO's radio station is an online sharing section with our fascinating guests in each different episode. So let's listen to the story of the home that will be brought up today. In today's section, continuing with the two interesting episodes before, I would like to introduce Thầy Matthew. So, hi Professor, can you tell us about yourself so that the audience can know more about you?
Sure, yeah. So my name's Matthew McDonald. So I'm from Australia. I lived in Vietnam previously for 6 years, but I went home to Australia for 2 years. I was working at the University of New South Wales, and then I came back just a few weeks ago, and I'm now working at Fulbright.
Well, that's an interesting journey right there. So let's jump right into our first question. So what is home for you? Like home here could be a school, a family, a close friend, like an organization, anything that you could be called home. And what is the image of home in your mind?
That's actually it's a really good question. Home is family for me, so wherever family is. So moving back to Vietnam this time has been a lot easier. Whereas the first time when I moved here in 2014, it was very, very difficult. So moving overseas is always hard. And so one of the things is that I come from a big family, and I really missed my family, my parents and my brothers and sisters. I've got 6 brothers and sisters. But it's funny, like as a psychologist, although I didn't know I was doing it at the time, when I moved here in 2014, I missed my family so much. I just kind of ended up adopting a Vietnamese family, and they sort of adopted me. So so I was very, very fortunate for that point of view. So so I suppose for me it's about, you know, it's not the bricks and wall and whatever. It's other human beings. You know, that's what home is. You know, and I tend to think that wherever you are in the world, it doesn't really matter. But if you have family or some type of family, and they may not be your biological family. So my Vietnamese family, they're obviously not my biological family, but they are my family for all intents and purposes. So for me, coming back to Vietnam was great because in a way, it was like coming home. It was coming home to my second family. So so I think family would be the number one thing.
Yeah, I agree with you too. Like the beauty of the home is like the definition of the connection between human and human, people and people. Yeah, and this is a very beautiful image for me too. So the second question is like, what is an object that reminds you of home or the memory of it?
That's a really good question. I didn't really think about that. I'm just trying to think. I know this might sound a bit strange, but actually in my books, like if it's not human beings, what would be the other thing? And I would say, just hold on a second. When you're flying, you can't take much with you, and particularly during this COVID, I could take hardly anything, and I'm just in the process of having stuff shipped over. But for me, it was like, what are some key books? Although I might have read them lots and lots of times, they're kind of like a safety or security thing. Like I know for some people it's like a picture or something else, but for me, it's going to be like books. So there are just books that I really love and that I've read lots and lots of times, and I just find, I don't know why, but having them with me just gives me a connection between, I think, my home in Australia and then my home here for some reason. I don't know why, but so I think it's just like a few key books, and you can take that on the plane because, you know, you've only got a 30 kilogram limit, and that's nothing. When you've got to move overseas, you know, you want to take more than that. But if that's all you've got, then that would be the one thing I'd pick out, like 2 or 3 books. And although I've read them and I won't read them when I get there, that would be the one thing for me. that I would take with me would be the sort of object that would make me feel that that was home for me.
Yes, book like I believe like is one of the best things like people can express their feeling through words and lines like that. This is a very interesting memories of that you're giving us. So besides that, what is the best gift that home has given to you besides books?
Sorry, the best experience or best thing about home or?
Best gift?
Oh, best gift. Oh, okay. Oh, well, that's easier. Home's a sanctuary from the world. Yeah, I suppose I've been very lucky that some of my homes haven't been like when I was younger and at university and sharing houses with friends and stuff or whatever. Sometimes they weren't the sanctuaries that I would have wanted them to be just because the people I'm living with, but I've been very lucky in growing up, and then also in most of my life, I've been very fortunate to have like nice homes. That is, they're safe, they're secure, there's running water, there's electricity, all of those things, and that they're a place that you can escape to from the world. Like it's a sanctuary where you can rest and relax and rejuvenate and feel good about things, because you do need that. You do need that. You do need to escape the world and just be able to, like, not having demands on you and feeling comfortable, feeling like what you have is yours. You can kind of do whatever you want with it. So I think that would be the number one thing, is the kind of idea of home being a sanctuary. A place where you can feel safe and secure.
A safe and secure, like a place that you can actually have a better good sleep without any worries. A place you can, you return whenever you miss home or whenever you feel like you have a hard time in life. I believe home is also a very safe place to go back. So talking about safe place, what is the best thing that you think you have ever done for your home? And do you have any willing or any dream to make your home a better place?
Look, I think the best thing is if you are living with other people, I think the best thing you can do for home is to have fun in your home. I'm living with a friend here at the moment, and we're always joking with each other, so at the moment we're going through this stage where you'll think I'm very infantile for saying this. I don't know if you know this show, but we've been watching this show called South Park. Do you guys know that show? It might be, it's this really very popular but extremely rude and crude animation show from the United States. Kind of show that, 13, 14, 15-year-old boys are really into. And so we've been getting into that. And then also too, I've been getting into loving B-grade, really trashy, bad B-grade American action films. So that's the other thing. So, rather than going home and reading Bean and Time and having my consciousness raised through great philosophy, I think it's really important that home is a place where you can relax and be stupid and be with friends and have a fun time and all that sort of stuff. So I think, and it's funny what you say about what you can give it, because I don't know, I think in some kind of weird way, your home responds to that in a way too. It kind of, I don't know, I think your home smiles down at you when you're having a good time. But having said that though too, and going back to that idea of the sanctuary, is that I think the other really super important thing about home is that home is a place where you can be ill, sick, and unwell. And because that's the thing, life, you are never always going to be healthy and I don't mean physically unhealthy, mentally, you can be mentally unwell or very sad or upset about something that's happened in life. And so, home, that's the other really important thing, that home is a place where you can convalesce and get better again. That's really important, I think. So, yeah. But you know what, too, I suppose in a way, you're giving that to home as well, because you're saying to home, you're so important to me that I feel comfortable and secure that, you know, by being in this environment, you know, home will cure me. So, because that's the thing, because if, you know, when you end up in hospital, the number one thing that people will say, you know, they'll always say, you know, hospital's not a nice place to be ill. And the number one thing that you look forward to when you're in hospital is actually getting out and going home. It's an amazing thing. Yeah, there's just some kind of sense of security. I mean, sometimes you've got no choice. You've got to be in hospital because the medical expertise is there to look after you. But, you know, there's nothing better than being told, you know, okay, you're leaving today and you can go home. It just makes has such a powerful effect on, you know, your mental well-being. So I think this topic that you guys are onto is a really, really good one. Very, very important one. And particularly for people, you know, for people that live in poverty as well, because what people don't understand, I mean, of all of the privations, there are many privations about poverty, whether it's not eating or getting educated or getting good medical care. The other thing too about living in poverty is that generally speaking, you know, the people that live in poverty don't have security in their home. You know, home is not a sanctuary. So they're constantly on edge, they're constantly stressed out. So it's a very sad situation to be in. So yeah.
So that's also the last question for today's episode. Thank you so much for your attending and sharing with us your unique home. So that is the home of our professor. How about you? Please share your story with us through the 7-day challenge trong nhà ngoài ngõ, lasting until December. See you soon in the next episode.